Item number 1 is approval of our agenda. I move that.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Item number 2, approval of meeting minutes from November 21st, 2023.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Item number 3, approval of claims. And with that, I would call on Shane Albrecht from Baker Group to give us an overview, please.
Yeah, so this month we have 2 claims, one from Baker Group for $68,000, and that's the $34,000 for the month of October and $34,000 for the month of November. We also have certified testing services for $304, and that's kind of the miscellaneous one that's finishing up some of our final testing stuff. Okay. So our total for our claims this month is $68,304. Any questions?
I move that we approve the claims.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Item number 4, financial report from Dennis Butler, and we would call on Mr. Butler for that report, please.
Okay, the report is the same as last time, with the exception of the $68,304 being taken off. So you got miscellaneous revenues, $215,000, maintenance, $1 million. Now we'll go up $200,000 next May. That's it.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Butler? Okay, very good. Item number 5 on our agenda today is discussion and approval of pay app number 029. And again, I call on Shane Albrecht from Baker Group, please.
Okay, so I know it's hard for everybody in the back of the audience to see. I have the pay app up on the screen. So this pay app is certified by both me and Kevin Ross with GGA. You'll remember we brought pay app 29 before you previously, and it had a whole bunch of changes on lines 53, 54, and 55. Those items were removed from this pay request. So when you look down there, the only addition to this pay request is at our last authority meeting, we approved change order PCCO 20 and 21. You'll notice those are on this pay request now in lines 53 and 54. 53 was an add on this thing of $152,530. If you remember, there was 182 last time, but we pulled the one item for Kevin to look at further, so that took that change order that we approved that day down to 152. I wanted to just kind of explain this to you. If you look at the third column over, you'll see the $65,284. That's work this period, okay? So what that means, that's work. This is a bill for the month of October. This is the bill for the month of October. Sorry, I said that as a question because I just got the bill for the month of November. This is the bill for the month of October. That's for work they had completed in the month of October in the change order we just approved. So again, I'm recommending this for approval, and so was Kevin. We went through it. One thing for just you guys to understand and why I'm starting to share some of these things with you. If you look at column G, and they'll have G plus C and a percentage. So as you're looking through there, you can see the percentages of each of those items are complete as you start from the top down. And then if you look at column H, it shows you a balance to finish. And for everybody back in the audience, I think I can zoom this in. So these are the percentages I'm talking about right there, okay? So if you go through there, it takes it line item by line item, what percentage they are complete with each of those. If you look down at the very, very bottom of this pay app, it tells you overall what percentage the project is complete as well, okay? Sorry, this is going to take a minute for me to scroll clear to the bottom. I'm not used to this mouse yet. So our project right now is showing completion of 98.8%, and the column to the left of that is what's currently been billed to date. Okay? This is more, we normally just do it, this as part of the approval of claims, but because there was so much questions on this pay request last time, I felt it was good to put it here so anybody could ask questions that they wanted. We have received October's pay request, and the CCDs are back on there to try to get some resolved so that we can get some pay, the subs can get paid there. Okay? Yeah,
Where you
Dennis.
were there before, if you went over the next column, H balance to finish 732,049.67. Has that been approved, or are you still negotiating that number?
That number should be approved. The one thing in that number that's not approved is there's a PR coming out to remove that $250,000
Okay,
as the maintenance allowance, so that'll come off that number.
that's included in that.
In that number, that maintenance allowance is included, but that number comes off when we take,
Okay.
that 250 comes off of that number.
Okay,
Did that answer your question, Dennis?
Yep.
If you, sorry, I just really zoomed in a long ways. The 250, Dennis, is here on line 30 that you were asking. If you look up on the screen, I'll have it zoomed in, Dennis. The 250,000 is right there.
okay,
If I scroll over, it says maintenance building allowance, line 30.
okay. Did the authority take that off last time?
So what the authority did was the authority voted to give GGA direction to remove that from the project. They have to issue a PR for that, and it just hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And then it will come off of Houseman's
Come
pay
off that.
request.
Okay,
But not until the PR is issued, because it's the paperwork on the backside. First, the authority approves to remove it, and they did. Then
Yep.
Kevin has to issue the PR, and then Houseman has to give the credit off of their pay request.
And then
It's just a formality now.
and the
sir.
board, as a kind of formality, is reallocated back to the authority?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So Mark, we need to get that on the agenda soon.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
Any questions? None at all? Okay, I move that we move pay app 029.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Item number 6 on our agenda today is information and update on the LEC project, and once again, Shane Albrecht from Baker Group.
Yeah. Larry and Kevin, would you please come up to the microphone? Please introduce yourself and where you're from to start with.
I'm Larry Goldberg from St. Joe, Missouri, and I'm the president of Goldberg Group Architects.
Kevin Ross, Goldberg Group Architects.
So we've been working, Kevin and his team, Carol and everybody else came up on Monday. We've been working out on punch list items, walking the building, kind of trying to get some things set up. We've also had WCICC out to see us, met with Fibercom to try to start getting toward us being ready to utilize the building. So one of the things that's set up right now for starting on December 18th is fire alarm testing. So we have to have our phone line, when I say our, the authority has to have a phone line into the building so that it can be hooked up to the fire alarm panel so that you can get call out, because that's part of testing. Fire alarm testing is one of the hurdles on the project that we have to have done. We also were meeting about telephone lines to our elevators. Again, another hurdle to have elevator inspections and stuff. You have to be able to call out to somebody. Working with building services and Kenny, he's got those people in place so that we're not holding anything up. But we've had some really good movement on some of that stuff. WCICC will start populating switches and racks next Monday. The reason for that is there's some computers and some other equipment that we need out there that Accurate needs, which is our security contractor that needs to be able to talk to outside of the facility, so they need to start getting that. Fibercom will bring in the stuff even for the state, for ICN network. Also bring in the stuff for the sheriff's office for Telespan. So we're starting to make progress in that. WCIC's closet is up in the sheriff's office, is their main MDF. So the main distribution feed, data feed is coming from 1086. So it's the first of a line of jigsaws to bring the county's computers, equipment, and network up. The fiber's into the building. It's been tested. So we're good there. Fibercom was able to come out, and they're going to be selling lines to people. Walk through the rest. They've got painters working in the jail area. They've got corrective measures going on in the county attorney's space. One of the big things that I've been pushing Hausman for, if I can give you an update on, is getting these areas that we have punched, because our first punch list happened October 6th. Our next punch list happened the 23rd. We've had another one 2 weeks ago, and then we have this one that the 20th, I think we did a punch list. And then we did a punch list again the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Toth is coming to do an exterior punch list before we get snow on the ground tomorrow. Start looking at parking lots and things like that. So we're getting a lot farther and getting some of those punch lists done and issued out there, okay? I'm going to read a press release at the end, but I'd like to call on Larry and Kevin to kind of tell you some positive things, Larry, that you saw when you were walking around out there.
You know, with all the challenges and difficulties and complexities and putting a project like this in place, it's easy to forget where we were 3-4 years ago versus where we are today. Because this is a building type that we do all over the country, we see trends and things that colleagues and competitors do, for example, to try and respond to market pressure like budget and workmanship and so forth. And we see that Woodbury did not do some of these things, to its everlasting credit, for years and decades to come. And I was struck by the fact that when we designed this facility, it was determined that it would be all cell-based. It would not be a bunch of dorms. And we have seen this being done in other places. We're doing a project right now in southern Oklahoma that has all dorms because it's easier and cheaper. And you all did not take the easy way out. And that will stand as an everlasting operational and security credit to you all forever. And anyhow, I walked the facility for the first time in quite a while, and I was struck by that, and I was struck by the booking and intake, the padded cells with doors on both sides so it can swing between booking and intake and medical. I was struck by how many intake and booking cells that were designed into the project, and you will need those worse than any other element in this facility. Anyhow, so I was gratified to see so many of the things that we worked so hard with Chad and his command staff and Shane and you all to implement, and it's great. So when we get to that point, you will have a wonderful facility for decades and decades to come.
Kevin?
Thank you, Shane, covered all parts and pieces of the job site. So we're gonna go out and, we got a little bit of walk up tomorrow morning, and then we're gonna do some more punch possibly a few weeks from now as well too. Shane mentioned Toad was coming up, who's our civil engineer, from Springfield, Missouri, and they'll do a lot of the exterior walk up the grades and the stormwater outlets and stuff like that, the parking lots and whatnot. So we're getting closer and closer each time we get up here, so we'll get there eventually.
One more thing, it's not really on the agenda, so we can't officially vote on it, but I want to put it up on the screen for everybody to see. This will be the first time the sheriff's office and everybody has kind of seen this. Maybe if I just click on this other button. So there is there's a plaque that's going to be out. It's a dedication plaque to the building, okay? So we will need to set this up. It's kind of something that we need to get ordered soon. Basically, it has the LEC Authority, all three of you plus Rocky DeWitt listed there. It has the sheriff listed and the chief deputy. Then down the bottom, it has general contractor, it has the owner's rep, and has the project architect listed, and then it has the completion in 2024. Okay?
And what this is a draft dedication plaque, like you walk out here in the log out here, you see a dedication plaque, and they put this building, this all similar things on that. This is just a first shot draft, just based on conversations with Mr. Witt and Shane and so forth. This can be arranged to have any text on it, any arrangement of logos, whatever, on there, so just we kind of started.
Yeah, and we want to say it to say chairman, not chair. Okay, just things like that.
Details like that, absolutely. We'll get that correct, and obviously, Sheriff, you guys weigh in on this as well, too, so. That's something we don't have to make a decision on today, like I said, we'll do an action item.
It's not an action item. I just wanted, because it's an update, we will need this plaque. It's one of the things on Houseman's contract, and we've got to get it ordered. Otherwise, it won't be here till after the jail's done. We are issuing a PR to remove from Houseman's contract the installation of this plaque. That way it causes no delays on the project opening, and we felt it would be a nice time for you guys to all come out for kind of a dedication type ceremony like you do for groundbreaking, because this is a very large project and you guys, you know, and you spend a lot of time on it. With that said, is there any other questions on this stuff? All right. So we have a press release that kind of sums up what's going on that we'll be issuing to everybody again. So this is on authority letterhead. And I'm sorry, I always.
Thanks. I have one.
We always got to give one to Karen and one to you. You want one, Mick? Would you pass one to Mick, Ron?
Do we have enough left for the,
Yes. I made 12 copies.
gotcha.
Anybody else that would like one, there's copies up here. Caitlin, and sir, I don't know your name, I'll make sure I have a copy for you. All right? So press release is dated December 5th, 2023. Press release for immediate release. The authority focus continues to be working with Hausman and Goldberg Group Architects on the completion of the project. Corrective/punch list work is still ongoing in the county attorney's space in Lower C after the area was punched during the week of October 9th. Corrective punch list work is still ongoing in the sheriff's office space, court space, and medical observation space after those areas were punched during the week of October 23rd, 2023. Punch lists were created during the week of November 20th in Upper C intake, jail administration, room 1086, which is the WCIC IT room that we were talking about earlier, and a corrective/punch list work is still ongoing. The week of December 4th, punch list will be created for Lower A, the entire roof, and the penthouse, and the kitchen, actually. On December 6th, the punch list will be created for exterior items minus items yet to be completed. Because there's so much to do outside to walk, because remember we have a 39-acre site, one day probably won't be enough, but it'll get a lot of the major items, so even if there's a few left not to be completed, we're able to walk before there's snow on the parking lot and won't be able to complete the punch list. All the fire and smoke dampers have been installed, but not yet fully functional. All 11 of the dampers that needed to be wired are wired, but have not yet been landed to the control boxes. The authority, GGA, and Hausman are continuing to discuss Hausman's previously requested additional time and expense for this damper work, with which the authority and GGA have expressed their disagreement. The authority, GGA, and Hausman are working through a mock-up for the jail area and an acceptable block, floor, and ceiling combination. The team is also working through a verification process to allow the authority to start occupying spaces that have been previously punched. The authority and its council continue to assess its additional costs and damages on the project and are taking proper steps to ultimately hold the responsible parties liable for such additional costs and damages accrued by the authority. And that's it. That's pretty much what I have for an update for the LEC. Any questions by any of you guys?
Do we need to receive this in the record?
I'm sorry.
Do we need to receive this?
Probably.
Probably should because
Yeah,
we're going to pass
good
it.
idea.
I'll move to receive.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Okay, no other questions? All right, we move to item number 7 on our agenda, public concerns. Seeing none, we'll move to item number 8, board member concerns.
Just one point of clarification, I had said 2 weeks ago that Chairman Matthew Ung and I would be visiting the jail tomorrow afternoon, when in fact it'll be myself and Supervisor Keith Raddick. So just wanted to clarify that, but looking forward to the visit.
Nothing further.
With that, we'll need to stand down. Our closed session starts at 2:30. We'll need to wait about 8 or 9 minutes till we get there.